legs on both of them. Tumley's got a sore toe. There's a ligament damage on the side of the toe, a little bit unusual, so we're just going to give ourselves a few days. We've got to know what it is to see how quickly it settles down. Ben Smith has got a small fracture in his cheek, and so again we're not sure at this stage just whether it's whether he's going to play again on his tour, but we're just going to give ourselves again probably 2 or 3 days just to see how he settles down.
Do you have guys on standby at all?
Not yet. We really just want to give ourselves a couple of days. I mean, we've just got the diagnosis through now. Tumley's is a little bit unclear about how quickly it's going to settle down, and Ben is the type of injury that it is possible to play with, but we just want to make sure we get people who give us the right opinion on that.
How's Israel Dag?
Israel's fine. He's sore. He has been sore, but today he's running around pretty well, and he's freezing pretty well, so it's good news.
Ian, where will you get that medical opinion from?
Sorry?
Where will you get that extra medical opinion from?
Oh, look, I think Debs has got a few people in terms of who look at scans around the head. She's got people back in New Zealand do that, so we'll just trust her judgment and her resources, and we'll see how Ben settles down.
And it's safe to say that neither of those guys will be considered for the squad this week.
Yeah, no, they will both be out for this week.
Ellie, you must be leaping out of your skin this week. Steve's made it pretty clear that the guys that didn't start last week will start this week, so you're getting a start. You'd be pretty excited?
Yeah, very excited. The team hasn't been named officially yet, but for a lot of us it's a chance to see where the team before put the mark in the sand, and for us now it's to raise it and really challenge so that we get a chance to show that we deserve to be in the jersey, and we can put it in a better place. So yeah, I'm pretty excited.
I noticed on Sunday when you got the call, you were out there real smart. I mean, obviously it must have been a great feeling for you just to get back on the field like that.
Yeah, the Scotsman didn't want to let me on too quickly, but it's no secret what this jersey means to me, and every time I put it on, I want to be out there playing, and it's just another occasion I was lucky enough to get out there and do what I needed to do. So hopefully see what happens this week.
Ian, were you able to train this week's team as a team much last week?
No, we didn't even try to do that.
Okay.
And just go back a step, Steve said everyone get game time, not a start, just to clarify that point. But no, we didn't. We deliberately didn't. We kind of felt, we've always got a policy of it's just about this week and it's about performing on the Saturday, and we want everyone to prepare. So we've held back. So whilst it's been a short week and we had a few travel issues yesterday, we still believe that there's time to prepare this next group thoroughly. So we kind of trained the guys a bit different today because we had sort of players in 2 cycles, one group that's sort of jumping out of their skin ready to go physically, another group that's just 48 hours away from a test match. So, but everyone's peaking for the same point on Thursday and Saturday.
Ali, it's been strongly signalled that Kieran is more likely to captain on Saturday. How do you sense he's building into this week, which will be his first one as the captain?
I mean, Kieran's a natural leader, regardless what sort of tag you give him on the field. I don't think his role's changed in terms of what he does last week to this week. But hey, look, as I said, the team hasn't been named, and it's a hard position, obviously, talking to you guys now, because we don't know it. But the reality is that he is the heir to the throne, if you want to call it that. And for me, just watching him grow from when I first started playing with him in the Crusaders to now, you can really see that mantle of him growing. And I don't think he'll change as a player. I don't think he needs to change as a player because every great captain leads by example, and Rito's doing that when he's playing. So,
do you see a lot of Richie in the man?
Do you
see a lot of resemblance in Richie about the way he goes around things?
Richie just started captaining, and there were traits there that similarities, but they're different people. One's got a steady relationship and one doesn't. Sorry, clicking that. But yeah, I mean, look, they're both natural leaders, and Rito will grow into it. And the beauty about Richie is that he's one of those guys that will pass on everything he knows. He doesn't like holding things back.
But the last week, the team did not look at Scotland in the lead up to that test match. Will you be following that same practice this week ahead of Italy?
I didn't say that we didn't look at them. If anything, we did quite a bit of analysis on them, but if anything, it was just more about trying to find that drive from ourselves to try and punish a team like Scotland. There's a lot of expectation put on us to obviously perform out there, and at the end of the day, I think it's about bringing it back on ourselves and seeing what sort of goals we want to achieve, and that doesn't mean being naive and not analysing the opposition. If anything, that's a big part of it, but it's just about finding that drive, and that's going to be the same sort of approach we take to Italy. I mean, people will be expecting us to beat them and whatnot, but we're going to give them respect that they're due. They're the best set-piece side in the northern hemisphere, and I think they deserve their respect, and we'll be doing due analysis on them.
Victor, given your academic background, what are you going to be up to on your day off tomorrow?
I'm actually quite excited for tomorrow. A little bit of a trip around Rome, and I've got my classics degree, so this is pretty much my element right now, being in Rome. I'm pretty busy, and I'll be trying to source up some sort of knowledge something I might remember from my degree, and to try to put it into some sort of useful tidbit for the guys around me where they probably wouldn't appreciate it.
What are your top 4 spots you're going to go to?
Pardon?
What are your top 4 spots you've got lined up?
Definitely the Colosseum, then the Vatican I'll have to go to. I think they've got the Pantheon around here somewhere. Oh, I know they've got it here somewhere, so yeah, I want to go there and, I don't know, just roam around really. It's pretty good.
And just on that, just on the midfield, it's pretty unusual to lose 2 guys. You've obviously got Conrad and Mark. Who covers that for you this week with 2 guys being injured?
I think if you're looking at the mix, it's probably really got to be Desi's going to cover midfield.
Buongiorno, Ian.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. Did you have any chance to watch the Italy-Tonga performance and what you thought about the Italians?
Yes, we have watched the game. I think the Italians were a little bit rusty. They've had a bit of a break from international rugby, but again, they showed their clear strengths when they needed to. Particularly their set piece work. Again, when they had to, they went back to that and relied heavily on it. They certainly seem to be playing with a little bit more adventure now than perhaps they have in the past, and do some good things. So they're a challenging team.
Ian, you've obviously played rugby back in the day here. How have you been impressed with the way Italy has advanced the game since that time?
Well, when I left it advanced, is that what you were saying? Yeah. Look, I think the beauty about rugby is countries play different styles, and some things have been ingrained in Italian rugby, and particularly scrum, line out, the physical component of the game, they're very, very good at, and I think that they always have been, they probably always will be. But I've been impressed with the way the last 12 months they seem to be trying to grow that part of the game, growing the attack part of the game. They're traditionally a scrum 9-10 kick type team, but certainly aren't that now. So showing good signs.
Do you expect them to try that sort of stuff on Saturday, or do you expect them to try and revert and try and keep that score like that?
Well, I think they'll go out there and try and win, to be honest. I don't think they'll be going out there to try to keep the score down, so I think they'll be looking for ways that they can put us under pressure. So clearly they've got strengths in the physical area that they'll go to, but I can't see them taking a step back from playing with the width that they seem to have been doing in 2012. I think it's probably part of a bigger plan, and hopefully for the sake of the game, that's the way it goes.
Everybody knows that Sergio Barista is one of the world-class players that we have in Italy. There is any other player that you guys have been looking at?
Well, we don't specifically look at one player because it can really skew your defence if you focus too much on one person. But there's lots of good players. I mean, you only have to go back a few years to our last game in Milan, and it was a very, very tight game. And they've got very good defensive backs who know how to tackle, who are very, very well organised. And in the Six Nations, apart from one game, they really didn't concede a lot of set-piece attacking type tries. The main tries they conceded were off 2 corners. So they know how to defend, and it takes a team to do that. And clearly up front they've got some very, very good practitioners at a scrum. They know how to scrum.
Last question? It's done. Excellent. Thank you for coming, everyone.